Also, just to be clear, I don't want to drop spoilers in here, but finishing Hazbin Hotel, watching the way the finale played out, I think we did Adam's character so incredibly justice. This man actually ran through an entire freaking villain arc from top to bottom, getting the justice he deserved at the very end. I love that we're actually tying stories up and not just propagating themes that have already been used and abused into future seasons. Again, don't want to get into spoilers, so don't want to really include that in the video because I feel like that finale is definitely something you got to experience for yourself. But as far as the theming, I wrote and recorded this entire video before watching the last episode, and it still culminated in exactly what we talked about here. Bro, literally, the redeemed versus the irredeemable. What a fantastic theming for a series, and what an incredible antagonist. Hazbin Hotel has been taking the internet by storm. It is an incredibly talked about thing right now, and you know it's good because it gets canceled on Twitter by both the right wing and the left wing. Finally, equality, ladies and gentlemen. You know it's good if it gets canceled by every extremist on the planet, and that's what Hasbin has been doing, and I appreciate it immensely. Today we're going to be talking about the most controversial character in Hazbin Hotel. Someone even more controversial than Valentino, if you can believe it. Today we're talking about Adam. This is an Adam exclusive video. Everyone's afraid to talk about him because he's a misogynistic prick and Hazbin, and people don't like that for some reason. I don't know. I think he's top 3 characters in the entire series. Adam breaks all the rules that goes into writing basic antagonists, and somehow he manages to transcend all of them. Adam is not only an overpowered character done correctly. Adam is not only a super threat done correctly. Adam is not only someone people hate for being an asshole, but Adam is someone you can love for being an asshole. Adam, more importantly than anything that I have said until this point, is a perfect thematic antagonist for Hazbin Hotel. And to get into why he is more than you can possibly imagine, we're gonna have to break down one of the most major themes in the entire series that somehow gets incredibly overlooked. A lot of people like focusing on the demonology, on the actual cultural impact, on the lore and the theories, and I feel like a lot of the critical analysis into the overarching themes of the series kind of goes under the radar, and that is what I'm here for, ladies and gentlemen. Like and subscribe for more shiz. 10,000 likes and I'll do a character analysis on Lucifer. But first, we're gonna break into Adam, why he is so hated by so many extremes, why this man gets so much insane amounts of Twitter impression farming, why I absolutely love Dickmaster and will refer to him as such because that is his chosen name, and why he is a perfect thematic antagonist for the series, and why no one is talking about that. Let's jump into it.
Wait, can you... shit!
In the context of Hazbin Hotel, you got this series where hell is getting overpopulated for one bullshit reason or another. Heaven needs to come down and massacre, freaking exterminate a bunch of souls down there in order for, well, either it's because, I don't know, that they're overpopulated and that you gotta bring down the Thanoses, the heavenly angelic Thanoses to come down and solve that problem. Or maybe they're worried about some sort of rebellion happening, as it seems that Sarah keeps saying. Or it's mentioned in the overall intro that the fear of rebellion, you gotta squash them down every once in a while. Or, for those of us with divine ordainment, extermination is entertainment. Bow, now, guitar solo, fuck yeah. You got these different variations on a theme and reasons why these angels have to come down once a year and exterminate the sinners, which is what prompted Charlie into starting the Hazbin Hotel, a hotel to rehabilitate sinners, get them into heaven, solve the overpopulation, hence solving the rebellion problem, hence no more need for freaking exterminations. We're gonna get into all the heavenly controversies that are revealed in episode 6 a little bit later in the video. I think it's much more important to focus on Adam as he is introduced into the series, because again, I really think he is a pretty perfect antagonist, and we have not seen of his like in a very long time. But first, we gotta talk about why he's so hated by so many people and why that's perfect for a story like Hazbin Hotel. The major criticism that Hazbin Hotel has been getting by extremists on both sides of the political spectrum are very, very different from one another, and we will have to classify them right fucking now. On the super woke extreme of the internet, people are really upset that Hazbin Hotel is, promoting all sorts of crazy shit like sexual abuse, like manipulation, like saying the fuck word a lot, like having a character like Adam, who is just a massive misogynistic prick. Basically, the first thing he says after trolling Charlie is pound it, danger tits to loose, alright? Not exactly a paradigm of masculinity that we all should emulate to try to become like. Bro calls himself Dick Master because he's the first dick, and while that is unfathomably based of him, it may be looked at as demeaning towards women. Adam is a culmination of everything that Twitter hates. Adam is the first man. Freaking Twitter brain rot hates anything that is old school or old style. It all has to become new, bro. Everything is new, novel, progressive. And Adam is the antithesis to all of these things. In the very intro to Hazbin Hotel, and the background lore is that God created, or maybe the angels created, I don't know, the lore is a little funky. There's some blind spots there. But basically, Adam and Lilith were created, and they were supposed to be created as equal. However, Adam, Dickmaster, kept commandeering the spotlight, and Lilith had to run away. Bro oozes that toxic masculinity, and he's rewarded for it. He's looked at as an angel in heaven right now. He keeps using derogatory terms when referring to Charlie. He keeps calling her babe and toots and all that random edgy bullshit. It's revealed in episode 6 that he literally found someone badass, so named her the most badass thing he could think of, vagina, which again is possibly the coolest fucking thing in the universe. This man is so fucking based. Everyone wishes they were Dickmaster. God, I wish I was like Dickmaster. However, Twitter does not like that so much, and they hate him for that. Now, on the complete other side, on the more old school, anti-woke side of the force, they hate things that promote Satanism and hedonism and all of that kind of thing, because it is corrupting the minds of the people. Bro, political commentator Tim Pool went on a whole rant about how it's like not biblically accurate, and well, no fucking shit, homie. And Adam, who is supposed to be seen as like a really good guy on biblical standards that made one mistake, is completely and utterly bastardized in this adaptation of this character for this fictional universe. So people absolutely hate that someone like Adam, who's like forefather to all of us, an absolute badass. We saw he was adapted into Record of Ragnarok, and that was fantastic. He is unfathomably horrible in Hazbin Hotel. And I mean this with love and respect, I have to say. Dickmaster is what we all try to be like. However, he manages to enrage both sides of the political sphere in such a hilarious way that I can't help but respect how fantastic he was at grabbing the attention of everyone and becoming basically the main antagonist of Hazbin Hotel, at least season 1. So as far as just the much more meta aspect on what makes a good villain that can grab your attention, bro absolutely nailed it. Now, in the context of the show and the plot, he also does such a fantastic job absolutely being a super threat. Now, the whole concept of the series is Charlie trying to rehabilitate sinners so that they can solve the overpopulation issue, so that heaven will no longer have a reason to schlep all the way to hell and murder her people every year. Her entire premise and the entire reason for her being, what she calls her destiny, hinges on the fact that if she solves the overpopulation issue for heaven by rehabilitating people, heaven will no longer need to do any of this stuff. And Adam spits in her face. Not only does he say it's impossible to rehabilitate sinners, but he doesn't want her to succeed. He does not want to solve the overpopulation issue, bro. Because when all's said and done, it's a question of fun. Bro is vibing and loves coming down and massacring sinners every single year. This is his Call of Duty Zombies episode that he manages to do. It's his vacation. It's the high point of his cycle. He's a perfect antagonist because he's not questioning Charlie on the ideals of rehabilitating people. He rejects them entirely. He is an antithesis to the structure and order of the very plot itself. And it's beautiful, but it's so much more. Now, everything I said thus far could have been said after his very introduction in episode 1, and Hell is Forever is one of the most banger songs I've heard in a long ass time. But what really cemented me into making this video and really helped me decide that Adam is one of my favorite antagonists introduced into fiction is how expertly done episode 6 was. And it's not for the reason you think. Episode 6 introduced a really interesting ingredient into the entire world of Hazbin Hotel. It turns out these exterminations that heaven does every year, wipe out some sinners to stop a rebellion or to solve overpopulation or whatever. You see, this is not known by most of the inhabitants of heaven. It seems like Adam and his elite force of sexy, badass women, because once again, Adam is unfathomably based, loves going down there and exterminating people, and Sarah, the head of the Seraphim Angels, is sitting up there knowing that it's going on. I don't know if she likes it or doesn't. By all metrics, I would say she doesn't, except for the way she says one line in their song with like this crazy, terrifying impression that, wait a second, does she actually like this whole sinner massacre bullshit? So we have a lot of questions and asterisks as to what exactly her perspective on all this shit is. But for Adam, he's obviously loving it. He moves up the extermination by 6 months because he has no other reason than he found an excuse to do so. Emily, another seraph, she didn't know that any of this was going on at all, and seemingly most of the denizens of heaven had absolutely no idea. It's this massive conspiracy that heaven's been keeping under wraps, crushed down those sinners, and most of heaven doesn't even know any of this shit goes on. Now, Adam, just to flex, for his own hubris, he actually leaks this entire plot and sends the heavenly court into disarray just because he wanted to get down somebody's throat, which honestly, again, egocentric bastard. Bro is in heaven and he cannot get kicked out of heaven no matter what he does. Obviously, his ego gets to the better of him. It fits so well within his character, and a lot of people were upset that he leaked it so obviously, and I don't think that that makes sense at all to be upset at him for it. Bro does not have consequences for his actions. You don't want people to make mistakes? You make sure that there are consequences. This is parenting 101. Once you get into heaven, you have no consequences for your actions anymore in the world of Hazbin Hotel. So this dude literally has no reason to stop himself from just being an egocentric prick every single waking moment. And again, it goes to show it's perfect from a basic character perspective and also from a world build perspective, because here's the major bombshell that episode 6 drops that, in my opinion, really solidifies Adam as an absolute god tier character. So in a play on words on the original Adam song, where Adam said, "Hell is forever whether you like it or not, you had a chance to behave better, now you boiling the pot." The concept that hell is forever is like an absolute incredible concept that exists only in the mind of these angels. And again, it so far has been proven that anyone that ends up in hell stays in hell, whether it's due to societal reasons or the fact that these sinners are actually just goddamn horrible people. Rehabilitating demons has never been seen before. So saying hell is forever just as an absolute constant is so far true, and it is the order and the authoritarian perspective that is trying to be changed throughout this series. But then, as a play on words on the song that Adam sings in episode 1, Charlie in episode 6 sings, "If hell is forever, then heaven must be a lie. If angels can do whatever and remain in the sky." You see, the ultimate flipped perspective that no one really seems to think about isn't the fact that hell is forever. Because yeah, we get it. We're living the entire show from the perspective of these sinners are here and they're going to be stuck here forever, and no matter what they do and good they do, they might not ever get a chance at redemption to actually go to heaven. It is a dream that Charlie has to redeem one person. That is what she's trying to do so hard, to prove that sinners can actually find redemption, even in hell. But the flip side of all of this is the fact that angels could do no wrong. They can do whatever and remain in the sky. The fact that an angel's sins will not cast him down is an absolute flip side to the fact that a sinner's virtues will never be able to lift him out. It is this dichotomy that makes Adam such a fantastic antagonist, because while Charlie is operating, trying her very hardest to turn someone like Angel Dust from a sinner to a winner, to try to redeem someone that sins and change his place, Adam is the complete and utter antithesis of what the plot is trying to promote. He is someone that exists in heaven, someone that does not need to remain a good person. Even if he ends up evil, even if he ends up corrupt, he will never fall from his status. It is an exact inverse of what this show is trying to promote. I've mentioned this on stream and in my reactions to the episode, but the reason why Hazbin Hotel is called Hazbin Hotel is because everyone looks at these characters as has-beens. We look at them as what they were when they were actually alive. If the sinner was a bad person, we will look at him as a bad person in hell for eternity. And if one of these angel people was a good person, then he gets his spot in heaven and he will never be dethroned from that platform, no matter how horrid and evil and how many atrocities he ends up committing. You see, I think it's incredibly likely in the story that we are witnessing right now that Adam was always like a bit of a dick, but overall was a good guy. He wasn't a major sinner. He made one big mistake and he ended up in heaven. And over the last 5,000 years, this man no longer has any repercussions for his actions. He is committing war crimes after war crimes every year. And yes, that will turn someone into a massive asshole when someone is given everything on a silver platter, knowing that the rest of his life is solidified as a heavenly creature, someone that will forever just live in heaven, where no matter what he does, he can get away with it. It will make him the most egocentric, bigoted bastard you could possibly think of. Even if he was virtuous when he died, right now he might not be, and that doesn't matter. We look at him as the same way sinners are always judged for their past. That is the ultimate storyline in Hazbin Hotel, and it's why he encapsulates being a villain. I want to do a major video just talking about the point of Hazbin Hotel, and this will be a major theme in that video. But just on a pure character perspective, I don't think I can think of another antagonist that counterbalances the plot in such a perfect thematic fashion like Adam does. So while yes, it's enjoyable to have him on screen, bro, you see Luce saying shit like, "You have a hedonistic, blasphemous relationship," and Adam's sitting there, lesbians. Man is hilariously obtuse. juice. Bro embodies every possible toxic masculine workplace harassment trait in the Bible, but he will never be dethroned, never be taken off his pedestal on heaven. It's all this perfect character writing in my mind that really makes Adam stand out as not just an overpowered character that's terrifying because he could just at the swish of his wrist decide that he wants to exterminate another million freaking demons. It's not the fact that he only sees that and enjoys it and he's doing it for his entertainment, not to keep heaven safe or to keep overpopulation down or any of that bullshit. He loves doing these atrocities and war crimes. That is great and dandy, but it's the fact that he is a perfect thematic polar opposite to the theme of the series. He sees the world in black and white, and Charlie is seeing the world in shades of gray. That, in my mind, establishes Dickmaster as one of the coolest written antagonists and also hilarious and based antagonists, if I can say so myself, I've seen in a very, very long time. And the fact that people like just talking about him from like a theory crafting perspective of, oh, maybe just like all of the exorcists have masks, maybe he has a mask, and under his mask he actually looks pretty demonic and stuff, except he was an embarrassment to heaven, so they kept him there with the mask so that heaven wouldn't be embarrassed that the first person that was created was kind of a dickwad. All the theories are cool and based. Talking about him from a theory lore perspective is cool and it's based, but on a pure character analysis perspective, I have never seen anyone actually tackle this man as an emulation of what he truly is. The embodiment of a shit stirrer that is also so perfect as a thematic mirror to everything that the Hasbin Hotel is trying to accomplish. Adam is corruption, the perfect opposite and counter to redemption. And also he's hot as fuck. Thank you for joining me on this adventure, talking about Adam, the most cancelable man in Hasbin Hotel. I'll probably get hate for saying this because somehow people on the internet like treating fictional characters like they're real human beings. But those brain dead people are gonna cancel me anyway. What can I say? There's nothing we can do. Might as well just live and laugh at the bonfires we light. Thank you for being here. Like and subscribe. Let me know if you want me to cover someone else. 10,000 likes and I'll cover the next. Gooner. Stay weird, fam.